Okay, so hello everyone. So this is going to be our part two under quantitative demand analysis. So in the previous lecture video, we had discussed about the um, own price elasticity of demand. Okay, elasticity and own price of elasticity of demand. So just an okay, let's see, just a um, refresher. So we have elasticity. So elasticity. Okay, it measures how responsive, okay, how sensitive or reactive the price and quantity is, or all the other variables, okay, that there are in the given market. So those other variables are what we call the shifters. So aside from price, okay. So aside from price, we have other shifters of demand and um, the measurement on how elastic or how responsive it is to the given variables in the market is measured by elasticity. Okay, we will be measuring them by elasticity. Again, elasticity is more on how responsive or reactive it is. Like I said, kung mutaas daw gamay ang price, what will happen to the quantity? Or what if mutaas ang income? Okay, what will happen to the quantity demand or the quantity supplied? So that is for elasticity, how sensitive a market is especially of a given product like katong sa gasoline, sa rice, and so on and so forth. So that is for elasticity. We have many variables that would um, help measure elasticity is. So elasticity is very sensitive with the given variables from the price palangdaan, the quantity supplied and demand, the income, the price of related goods, the inputs. Okay, so we also have the inputs here. We also have taxes, both for the demand. Okay, both for the demand and supply. Okay, so those are its shifters. But for today, we will be focusing. Okay, in this lecture rather, we will be focusing more on the quantitative demand analysis. Okay, we will be focusing more on demand. Okay, in a minute. So let's continue. So we are on marginal revenue. So I hope you had taken note of what I had talked earlier again, elasticity, about elasticity. So sorry for medyo libog akong sulat. So let's continue. Okay. So we have marginal revenue and cross price elasticity of demand. So with elasticity, we had also talked about the different types of elasticity, di ba? Nag-istorya naman ta ani sa tong again previous na lecture video. So I really like to um, do lecture videos para mas makuan ninyo, mas ma-review, mas makuan po, especially for those who can't attend. So we have again elasticity here. So I hope you can see my screen clearly and can understand my writing. So we have elasticity here. So under elasticity, we have at least three types of elasticity. We have first the own price. Okay, own price, elasticity of demand. Next is the cross price. Okay, cross price, elasticity of demand. And third is we will be talking about the income, elasticity of demand. So these are the main um, topics or variables of elasticity that we would be talking. So we are done with the own price elasticity of demand. Now we are going to talk about the cross price elasticity in this lecture video. So let's continue. So we have marginal revenue and cross price elasticity of demand. So what is marginal revenue first? So marginal revenue is the change in the total revenue resulting from the increasing quantity. So more on the change sa total revenue. So what really is marginal revenue? So let's write it here. Okay, in a minute. I want this to be the same unta sila. Dili, maklaro rin ninyo. So, okay. In a minute. It's here. I hope you can see my screen clearly. Okay, di ka pa siya. In a minute. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen clearly. So we have what we call revenue first. So what is revenue? Okay, from the word itself, revenue, that means it is halin. Okay, halin. So that is revenue. So we have different types of revenue. We have what we call total revenue. Okay, total revenue. We have marginal revenue and many average type. I average type many types of revenue. Actually, we have average and so on and so forth. So there are many types of revenue, but in general ako lang mong gigan og overview what the revenue here means. So we have revenue here. So the total revenue, again, from the word itself, total. So ang tanan halin nimo, so tanan halin sa imuhang business, so price and quantity. So most of the time, total revenue is only price multiplied by quantity, while marginal revenue is more on the extra. Okay, meron na siya additional daw for every example. For every increase, there's among quantity will um, result to another revenue sa imo or an increase in your um, profit or in your revenue. As I said, for marginal revenue is more on for every additional daw nga product na imo i-produce, increase in your quantity. That means another an increase also in your total revenue. So more on the additional. So what if um, you have a price and quantity which has a total of imong gina-produce is 100. Okay. So let's assume nga imong total daw nga halin is 10,000. Sa imo daw 10,000, you have only 100. 100 nga gi-produce. Mo na imong quantity. Well, for marginal revenue, you had produced not just 100 but 120 DI. So the 20 would be your marginal revenue, the extra. So that would give you another additional halin sa imong business. So for average, more on the um, average nimo nga revenue compared sa more example, we have for how many for this month 1,000, second month is 99, and so on and so forth. So you just add the total. So you have 1990, and that would be the probably averaged one and let's have an example. Okay, this one. So for average, more on from the word itself average. So 190 divide by 2, which is for 2 periods. So we will have, okay, so let's use the calculator. So I hope you can see clearly. 190 divide and 2, we'll have 995. So 995 would be your average revenue for the 2 consecutive months. So don't worry, we won't be talking more about average revenue. Let's focus on again marginal revenue. So more on the um total kana bitong additional nimong halin resulting from an increase in your quantity. So that is for your marginal revenue. So that is just again an overview lang ni siya ha sa inyong overview or thought what marginal revenue is. So we have this formula. Okay. So we have the formula for marginal revenue. Again, this is the additional. Okay. The more you increase your quantity, that means an increase in your TR or total revenue. So increase in quantity or in every additional nga i-addan nimo sa imong quantity, like example plus 1, it will lead to again a change, a significant change in your TR, and that would always mean an increase in your total revenue. So mas mo daghan imong halin. So that's for marginal revenue. So we have this formula. So MR is equals to the price multiplied by, so this is a bracket, multiplied by 1 plus the own price elasticity. Okay, so we all know how to solve own price elasticity is based on the previous na nga discussion. Okay. So E stands for own price elasticity. So the formula for own price elasticity is we have QX and PX because this is the own price niya sa demand of sa good X quantity supply change in quantity demanded. Okay. A percent change in quantity demand over percent change in the price of X. So that is the formula for the own price elasticity as per what we had discussed in the previous lecture. So, same lang yapon siya sa marginal revenue actually. So, don't worry, we won't be solving more of marginal revenue. Magsumpay naman siya sa um, sumpay naman siya sa elasticity or own price elasticity. We'll focus more on own price elasticity ha, so don't worry. So, this is just additional lang na info. So, for marginal revenue, it is elastic. Okay. So as we all know, it is elastic if it is greater than 1. So if that is greater than 1, then that means MR is a positive. So as you can see, MR is positive now if the answer is greater than 1. So if we have solved this one, then greater than 1 daw ang result will have a marginal revenue of positive. So that means an increase. So as we all know, elastic means an increase, positive relationship sila. Well, for the next one is unitary elastic. So that means um, your elasticity is equals to 1. Okay. It it means okay this one. So greater than 1 again elastic. Um, if elasticity is equals to 1, you have also an MR of 0. So MR of 0 too. And then the last one, we have the inelastic. Okay. Inelastic, where the elasticity is less than 1, then you have an MR of a negative. So negative marginal revenue if it is inelastic. So that is its um, same lang gyapon nga murag law or how we will be interpreting our marginal revenue. So it would be based again on the main factor, which is the own price elasticity. Whether it is a positive or a negative, it really affects our marginal revenue. So positive siya kung elastic ang own price, negative siya if inelastic, and so on and so forth. So you will already know if elastic ba siya or inelastic ng imong MR if the answer is positive, negative, or a zero. So this is the law of marginal revenue. So let's proceed. I hope that was clear to all of you. Okay, in a minute. So we are going to discuss cross price elasticity of demand. So again, we won't be solving much on marginal revenue given nga sa yun na pod kay sabto ng iyahang formula. More on, again, sumpay lang sa own price elasticity, adan lang og 1 divide by its own price elasticity and multiplied by the given price of the good. So, I don't worry, I guess, di na ako siguro maghatag ng example or I'll just have an example. So let's try to solve it while maghatag ko 0.14 kunuhay over okay. So maghatag na lang kog example niya. So we have this one example. We have a price multiplied by 1 plus the elasticity over elasticity. Over elasticity. So this is its example, okay? So example, we have a price of um, 5 pesos, okay? And elasticity of, let's assume, a 0.14. Okay, mo daw ni ang elasticity. So, own price elasticity. So, klaro kayo nga negative pa lang siya daan. And especially nga kuan siya, less than 1. So, as you can see, less than 1 siya. That means it is an inelastic na demand. This inelastic demand ang given. So, let's solve this one. We will have the MR is equals to 5 multiplied by 1 plus 0. Okay. Negative 0.14 over 0, negative 0.14. So what would be its answer? So let's use MDAS. So given nga, it's actually PEMDAS, okay? It's parentheses, multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. But it can be parentheses or bracket, okay? So we have a bracket here given na may parentheses sa sulod. So let's solve that one first. The addition. So 1 plus, okay, I hope you can see my screen clearly. So we have 0.14, so that is a negative. The answer would be 0.86. So 5, okay, 0.86 over negative, negative 0.14. So what would be the answer? Divide. We have 0.14, which is a negative. We'll have a 5 multiplied by negative 6.143. So the answer would be multiplied by 5. We will have a negative 30.714. Okay, that would be the marginal revenue of this given na mga variables. So as you can see, it's a negative. So based on the interpretation, it is an inelastic demand. Given naman po, di ba, as I said, inelastic pa lang daan ang E. So if inelastic na daan ang atoang elasticity, then we have an expected marginal revenue of a negative. So negative 30.714. So that is less than 1 ang imong revenue. That means nga lugi siguro ka. So, nasubraan, ay, barato na siguro ko imong price. Nasubraan ka og produce. So, that is an example for marginal revenue. So, that means, again, nasubraan na ka produce and nalugi na noon ka og negative 30.714. So, that's your lugi sa imuhang pag-over og produce. Given nga, gamay ra siguro or barato imong price. Nga hatag. Okay, so let's continue. So I hope that is clear with all of you. So let's continue. So let's go to our main topic. We have cross price elasticity of demand. Okay, cross price. Okay, I like to do this one. Cross price elasticity of demand. So it is the measure of the responsiveness of the demand for a good to changes in the price of related goods. Okay, price of related goods. Okay, those goods are probably what we call substitutes. Okay, substitutes, complements. Okay, substitutes, complements, normal good, and inferior goods. So more on the prices of related goods and cross price elasticity. Okay, again the price of related, okay, goods are kato mo ang substitutes. So I hope you can see my screen clearly. Substitutes, complements, normal, and okay, in a minute, and inferior. So these are the price of your related goods. Okay, again, substitute, complement, normal, and inferior. So these are the variables we need to consider in this um, topic. on this cross price elasticity. Kanina kay own man to, 'di ba? Own price, so multiplied by the own price lang siya daan. But now more on the price of related goods. So what are those related goods imong gina-produce? So let's continue. Okay. So we have this formula kay the formula would be the elasticity of quantity demand for good X and the price for good Y. Okay. X and Y given again price of related goods. So percent change in the quantity demand. Oh no. Percent change in the quantity demand of good X over the percent change in the price of good Y. So X and Y given nga kuan siya kanang related goods. So this would be its formula. Cross price elasticity of um, demand. Okay, so this would be its formula. So let's continue. So we have this example. So you recently read in an article reporting that the price of recreation, okay, price in a minute. Price of recreation is expected, okay, let's put PR for price of recreation to increase by 15% now. So 15%. How would this affect your store sales of generic food products? So you have generic food products here. So GF. So food and recreation cross price elasticity is 0.15. So we will need to find the again the how much would this affect your generic food? So more on the quantity demanded of your generic food. So let's assume nga the cross price elasticity is 0.15. So given manggod nga okay. Given manggod nga okay. PR means or the ni-increase daw siya by 50%. So that means the um, this is a good Y and this is good X. So your ginabaligya actually here is your generic food product. So this is the good Y. I mean good X. Okay, main product would be the generic food products. Then na daw siya recreation. Ang iyang substitute or related goods is recreation. So mura siya og again substitute aning good X. So aside um from generic food nga product to generic or processed, then the dun sa recreation in which more natural probably nga foods, which is substitute sa imuhang pagkaon. So 15% daw iyang increase. So that means nga ang iya daw um, own price elasticity of demand is equals to 0.15. Okay. 0.15 siya given man siya food and recreation cross price elasticity. So ang cross price elasticity daw sa food and recreation is 15% or 0.15. So let's solve this one. So the answer is 0.15 multiplied by 15. Okay. So, as you can see, based on the givens, di ba gipangita na ko na ng givens. So, um, good good X, which is the generic food, is that is the missing. So, mo na tong pangitaon. So, how much would be its quantity given nga ang price of good Y or the recreation is 15% daw yung pag-increase. And the price elasticity is 0.15. So, given nga, gihatag na ang duha ka parts or sa atong formula, so we just need to solve for the quantity. Quantity of the generic food products. So, with that, again, the cross price elasticity is 0.15 kay mo man ang given. Okay, first let's use the formula rather. So we will be using the formula for the cross price elasticity. So the formula is equals to income elasticity of price Y um, income elasticity of good X and price Y is equals to um, percent change in the quantity demanded of good X over the percent change in the price of good Y. So that is the formula. So let's um, change the value. So mo man ang given again, income elasticity of good Y would be 0.15 while price for good Y is 15% increase. So let's have that one. So the answer would be 0.15 is equals to percent quantity demand for good X or what we say generic food. So let's put generic food na lang diri instead. Okay, generic food over the price of recreation, which is the 15% daw nga increase. So this would be the formula. So there's no need for you to change this one into decimal points. So the answer would be the percent quantity change of good of the generic food products is equals to, okay, let's multiply this one. So we have 0.15 multiplied by 15. So we have a 2.25, okay, na answer. So this would be the cross price elasticity of demand given sa problem or sa formula. So this is the answer. So thus the food and recreation are substituted. So substitute daw siya again sa generic nga product. If the price of recreation increased by 15%, then you can expect the demand for generic product to increase by 2.25%. So, positive man good siya. So, as you can see, ni-increase siya by 2.25% daw ang demand sa generic food products. That means nga, again, substitute ang food and recreation. So, FR is a substitute. Substitute given na, again, positive ilang relationship. So, an increase in quantity, supply of the main good or good X, that means an increase in the price for your substitute or the price of your Y. So, positive ilang relationship. Kung mo increase again ang quantity mo increase ang price sa good Y, that means nga mas mutaas ang price sa good X. Ay, mas mutaas ang pag-produce sa good X. So, they have a positive relationship. Again, ang positive relationship nila, they are substitute given na again, ni-increase ang quantity demand for the main good which is good X because the price for the substitute has also increased. Okay. Price for substitute increases. So, positive ilahang relationship. Kaya substitute man siya. So, let's continue. So, we have this note. Okay. So, as you can see here. So, when good X, okay, when good X and Y are substitutes, an increase in price, okay. So, we have substitutes here. If they are substitutes ang X and Y, that means an increase in price. Okay. Increase in price leads to an increase in the demand. So we have, okay, in a minute, we have a quantity elasticity of demanded for good X with the price of Y is greater than 0. So that means they are again substitute or positive sila. Increase in price leads to an increase in the quantity demand. So the next one would be the complements. Okay, wrong spelling di akong complements ganina. So pardon me. So complements ang X and Y. Okay, we will be calling them complements again if the elasticity demanded for quantity of X with the price of Y is less than 0. So complement siya if less than 0 or there is a negative relationship. So, if mo increase daw ang price sa ato ang substitute, that means nga mo decrease ang demand for our main nga product. So, we have an a decrease in demand in the quantity supply. So, as you can see, kung mo-increase do ang price sa substitute, mo-increase ang quantity demand sa ato ang main product, which is X. So, substitute, in positive relationship, and complement, we have a negative relationship. So, of, again, the substitute good and the quantity of the main good. Okay, but before we end, I will be giving you another example, more elaborate example. So let's continue the example we have on our own price elasticity. So the example is that we will be using this formula. So quantity demanded of beer is equals to 500 less 10 PB plus 4M. Okay, in a minute. Okay, 4M plus 5A plus 2PW. So this would be our formula, in which, as you can see, quantity demanded for beer is equals to 500 less its own price elasticity, which is a negative 10 PB. So from the relationship, again, inverse relationship with the price and quantity demanded. So negative with ilang relationship, price and quantity demand. We have 4M for the income, 5A for the advertisement, and 2PW for the price of related good, which is the wine. So wine daw ni siya and beer. Okay, so we will be solving this one. So example, gipasolve ta mo sa number 1. Look for its own price elasticity. Okay, own price elasticity of demand and interpret. Okay, so you are done with this given nga kabalo na mo sa formula. So let's review again the formula for OPED. Okay, own price elasticity of demand. So the formula would be elasticity of quantity demanded for X, while the with the price of X is equals to percent change in the quantity of good X and percent change in the price of good X. So that would be its a formula. So kabalo naman mo no nga we have the variable of negative 10. Okay, based on the equation, variable of negative 10. So that would give us a formula of katugyapan elasticity is equals to elasticity of QXPX is equals to and negative 10 multiplied by the price of X over the quantity of X. So, muna siyang formula actually, gibali lang siya because, again, the variable is equals to 10px and we will be looking more into the, we will be using the formula based on the given, okay? So, don't worry if gina-interchange na siya. Ginamin niya nga, nasa babaw ang px because, okay, nasa babaw ang px because, again, based on the given, so the variable is negative 10 PB. So, sumpay yun ang negative 10. Multiplied yun na siya always sa price. So, that's how we will be using and solving it. So, let's continue. Okay. So, this would be the formula. Okay. So, we already solved this one. Again in the previous na session. So that's for the own price elasticity of demand. So next we will be talking about the cross price elasticity of demand. So we have number 2, we have cross price elasticity of demand. So in a minute, I'll write it here na lang. 2, we have cross price, elasticity of demand. So we will be having the formula. So same lagi na sila actually yung formula ni own price. So actually same na sila tanan, but we will be focusing more on the price of related goods. So PY. So elasticity of demand for X and the price of related good Y is equals to same lang yapon percent change in the quantity of good X and percent change in the price of good Y. Okay, so let's look back to the formula. So as you can see, the price of related good is it has a derivative of positive, okay, positive 2 PW, so price of wine. So wine daw ang atuang probably substitute ni siya given nga positive ang yang sign. So as you can see, again, based on the sign, that means this one has a positive relationship with the quantity demand. Kung positive ilang relationship, that means increase in the price of wine means an increase in the quantity demand of beer. So that is what it meant. Okay, again, positive ilang relationship sa um again sa price of wine and the quantity demanded for beer. So this is a substitute. So positive ilang relationship. So let's continue. So let's solve this one. So we have EQX and PY is equals to positive 2. Okay, positive 2 and then the price. Okay, let's assume that we have a, okay, price of good Y. Okay, price of Y is equals to 10. Let's have a 10 here. So 2 times, okay, 2 times 10 over the quantity of X. Okay, sorry. So let's change again. The givens na lang. Atong awaton ang ato ang givens sa previous. Okay. Same lang yapon sa tanan. So we have a price of Y. Okay, price of wine of, let's assume this is a 50. Okay, 50. Ako na siya i-draw here in a minute. Price of wine is equals to 50 and our quantity would be 400. Okay, quantity of X is 400. So this is going to be the same. Okay, same lang yapon nga prices. So let's solve this one. We will have equals to 2 multiplied by 50 over 400. So 2 multiplied by 50 over 400. So we will have these answer. Okay, 50 by 400 times 2. We'll have a 0.25. Okay. So as you can see kaganina, we will have 2 multiplied by 0.125. Okay. 50 over, sorry. So we have 50 over 400. We have 0.25 multiplied by 2. And we will get the result of, okay, klaro na kay ang result. So we have an elasticity of good X and price of Y is equals to 0.25. So as you can see, based on the result, it is a positive. Okay, positive ang answer. So we have a positive here, given nga positive man siya. That means nga they are substitute. So klaro kayo gapon as same kaganina. So substitute siya. So increase, again, increase in the this is how elastic, rather this is how elastic our wine is to beer. So 0.25 daw siya, so less than 0. So they are actually Oh, they are actually complements. Sorry. When good X and Y are complements, it's less than zero, magud ang price of Y. So that means they are complements. An increase in price of, may increase to ang price sa wine. It leads to a decrease in the demand for beer. So wine and beer. Okay, in a minute. Oh, sorry. So we have I'll have a correction first. Okay, as you can see, mali ang akong formula. So this is actually A plus. Bantog ra na mali ang ato ang answer. So 2 plus rather. So we will have a 2 plus 50 here. So we have the correct answer. Sakto lagi siya. Nakulbaan ko kaya binahog mali. Okay. In a minute. Okay. So PY is equals to 2 plus 0, 1.25. So we will have 2.1. Okay. 2 plus 0.125. So, ay, sakto lagi nga multiplication. Ano nag-plus ko? Yung multiplied positive lagi to siya. Oh no, sorry, correction. 2 multiplied, okay. So we have multiplication here. We will have 2, 0.125. So that would be the answer. So this is less than 0, so a complement. So they are actually complement. Ilang relationship kay positive man. Hmm. Okay, mag-correction na pagyapon ko again. Sorry for the corrections. Okay. So, ang ako na i-change ang ato ang price rather kay dapat di siya magka-same og price. Dapat dili siya magka-same og price ato ang main grid which is grid X. So, let's have an example kay as you all know wine and beer. They are substitute, medyo mahal gid ang wine. So let's assume that the price of wine is instead of 50, let's use 200. So mas mahal daw siya or costly again compared to our beer. So let's have a 200 here. So 200 over 400 multiplied by 2. So let's have this formula. 200 divided 400. We will have a 0.5. So 2 times 0.5, we have a 1. Quantity, okay, times 2, we have a 1. So as you can see, so this is the whole assumption rather. Okay, price of wine is equals to 200. For correction, sorry for that. Kaya dapat di this lang magkapareha og price. Then um, quantity of good X is same lang gyapon, 400. So we will be using this formula, 2x times 200 over 400, 2x times 0.5. We will have an elasticity of the price of wine equals to 1. So the answer is a positive 1, which means it is greater than 1. Okay. Okay, greater than 1 na daw siya. That means this is a substitute. So it is confirmed na substitute ni siya nga product. So wine is a substitute of beer. The price of wine is substitute sa beer. So price of wine is substitute sa price of beer. So this would be the answer given na yung elasticity is 1. So again, this is for the cross price elasticity. We will be focusing on the price of related goods. So another um, correction rather. So only price of related goods are composed of substitute and complement. So income man gud tong inferior of normal goods rather di ay. So again, price of a related goods are only substitutes substitutes, and complements. Okay, I hope you can. So these are the uh, price of related goods. Okay, so I hope that's clear with you. Okay, ang normal og inferior are based on income. So let's continue. We will be talking about next is the income elasticity of demand. So we are already done. Okay, with number 2. So we are done with this one. Again, own price elasticity, cross price elasticity, and lastly, we are on number 3. So I hope you had got our cross price elasticity of demand. Again, same lang yapon ng formula. You just need to find the givens. So the givens is the price of wine is 200, quantity of good X is 400. So this would be the formula. So the answer would be the elasticity of demand is 1, which is a substitute of um of our price of beer. So given a positive man siya, again an increase. Okay. Increase in the demand, um, increase in the price of Y leads to a relatively large change in the quantity supply of X. Okay, quantity supply of X. So let's continue. We are going to talk about the last topic, which is the income elasticity. So we are on number 3, income elasticity of demand. So let's see, put IED here. So, a measure of the responsiveness of consumer demand to changes based on, again, we will focus on income. Okay, we will be focusing here on income. So, again, ang income elasticity of demand would be focused on the income variable. So, most of the time, it is represented by the letter M. So, we have income, so we have, again, normal and inferior good. Normal and inferior goods. So these are under income elasticity of demand. So we have this formula. So same lang yapon sila formula tanan. Ang nakalay lang is elasticity of the demand, quantity demand of X and its income. So M is income. So percent change in the quantity demand of X over percent change in the income. So this would be the formula under income elasticity of demand. Okay, so we have this note. So when good X is in normal, we have note. Kung normal daw ang good X, so normal good. So let's put NG here. If it is a normal good, increase in income will lead to an increase in the consumption of good X. So increase in quantity of good X. So that's for the normal good. So next is does EQXM or elasticity of income is greater than 0? So that is a normal good. So when EQX M is greater than 0, that means it is a normal good. This one, normal good here. So how about when it is an inferior good? So we have inferior good here. Kung inferior good daw, an increase in income, so M, leads to a decrease in the consumption of quantity demanded for good X. Okay, so let's continue. So inferior good if it is the income is greater. When there is an increase in income, leads to a decrease in the consumption of good X. So does our elasticity of our income is, oh no, less than zero, we have an inferior good. So X is an inferior good. X is inferior na good. So here is X is normal na good. So this is our a note on income elasticity. So more on, again, normal, they have a positive relationship with um, income and quantity demanded, while inferior we have a negative relationship with income and quantity demanded. So when the elasticity is less than zero, that means X is a normal good, and when the um, elasticity of our income is zero or less than zero, we have X as an inferior good. Okay, X as an inferior good here. So let's have an example. So again, kung income elasticity, we will focus more on normal good and inferior good. Normal good, positive relationship. Inferior, negative ang yang relationship. So let's have this example katong given. So your firm's research department has an estimated income, okay, income elasticity of demand daw, for non-feed ground beef to be negative 1.94. So income elasticity of demand for non-feed ground beef is negative 1.94. So this is the first given. So you have just read in an article that due to an upturn in the economy, consumer incomes are expected to raise by 10% daw. So income would be 10% daw ang iyang increase. Okay, so let's have this one. So over the next 3 years, as a manager of a meat processing plant, how will this forecast affect your purchase of non-fed cattle? Okay, how much would be your quantity of X or your um meat processing plant? I know your non-fed cattle daw nga example sa imong meat, dili siya gamitan og probably chemicals. So let's have a good X ang yapon diri. How much would that be? So that would be the question based on the um, situation. Again, gihatag na daan ang elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand. That is this one. Okay, we have negative 1.94, while the increase daw sa income of 10%. And the question is would be how will this affect your purchases of non-fed cattle? So let's solve this one. So we have this formula. So let's have the formula first. The formula for income elasticity is we have this one. EQXM is equals to percent change in your quantity of X. Okay, so never mind my background. And quantity demand for M. Let's continue. So we have the elasticity based on the given. We have the negative 0.194 is equals to percent quantity demand, percent change in quantity demand of X equals to the given na 10% rather. 10% na income increase. So this would be the formula. So as you can see, based on the given, we have the elasticity of demand, which is negative 1.94, and an increase in income, which is a 10. So let's solve for this one. So you just need to, multiply this. So we have Okay, negative 1.94, that's a negative multiplied by 10. We'll have a, okay, we have a percent quantity demand, percent change in quantity demand of a negative 19.4. So this would be the answer. So negative siya. So you can see there is, um, we can at least expect to sell 19.4% less. Okay, a decrease. So that means it is a negative. So there is a decrease on the quantity demand for our good X or the non-fed ground beef over the next 3 years. So therefore, we should purchase non-feed cattle by 19.4% less unless something else changes. So forecasting give nag-forecast naman ta how much would it affect us. So negative 1.94 daw siya puhon in the next 3 years given sa atong forecast. So with that dapat at least less 19.4 daw ang ato ang pag-purchase sa non-fed cattle. So dili lang kita mo focus og supply or um focus og produce sa dugang og quantity sa atong non-fed cattle given nga it would have a decrease in the next 3 years. So based on our forecasted na income elasticity of demand. So that is for this problem. So let's continue. So let's have another example. So we will be using again the same or is it the same formula, this one. So, ako ni siyang favorite nga formula para mas ma-emphasize or makita yun ninyo bitaw. So, we have, again, income elasticity of demand. So, I hope it's clear with you. Okay. Again, ato siyang ibalik sa first, basin naglibog mo. So, we have, again, based on the given here, income elasticity of demand for non-feed ground beef is negative 1.94. Okay, here, this one. Next is the 10%. 10% na consumer income in the next 3 years mo increase daw siya. So that's the forecast. So how much would it affect your purchase of non-feed cattle? Puhon daw. So how many quantity would you purchase or would you produce? So let's use this formula. Let's change the values. Negative 9.4 for the elasticity and the 10 for the income. So we would come up with this number negative 19.4. So 19.4, so that is a negative, that means a decrease. So that means nga dili kita mag-produce or mag-purchase og non fed cattle. So let's have another example. So the third one, again, income elasticity of demand. We have this formula gyapon. Quantity demanded, okay. Quantity demand for beer is equals to 500 okay, sorry. So 500 nawala na-mute ko, sorry. So let's continue. 500 minus 10 PD plus 4M plus 5A plus 2PW. So this would be the formula we will be using. So same lang yapon formula. Ay formula nga itong gamiton. So we have elasticity, income elasticity of good X and the income. We have percent change in the quantity of X over percent change in the income. So based on the given, okay, given a formula, so quantity demanded of beer daw and wine. So there is a income, positive relationship daw siya. So plus man plus 4M. So that means there is, so i-cancel out na tong uban nga factors. We'll focus more on the um this factor, the income factor. So how elastic would the quantity demanded be based on the income? So as you can see, positive ilang relationship. So we would expect a um, normal good, normal good daw ang beer. So let's have this formula. So elasticity of income elasticity is equals to a 4 multiplied by the income, which is, okay, let's have the given first rather. Okay, in a minute. So the given. So we have income. So let's have the income daw is 400. So 400 lang daw ang income niya. Ay 4,000 na lang. Let's use that one. And the quantity for supplied for good X would be at least 650. Okay, let's use 650 ang produce. So let's solve this formula based on the givens. We have a elasticity of income. We'll have 4 multiplied by, okay, qx, which is 650 over, oh no, naka-unmute na ko. Okay, let's continue again. So, um, our income would be 4,000 and the quantity would be 650. So we will be using that formula. As you can see, 4 multiplied by m. Ang m ka na sa babaw. Okay, we will be using the equation 4 multiplied by m man siya diretso. That's what I had said earlier. So 4 by m, so that would give us a 4 by multiplied by 4,000, which is the given, okay, the m. So 4 multiplied by 4,000 over 650. So 4 divided 650, we have 6.154 multiplied by the 4 itself. We will have an, okay, income elasticity of a positive um, 24.615. So given it is a positive, given it is a positive and greater than 1, that means this is a normal good. Okay. So this is correct as you can see pod sa atong formula. Again, confirm siya nga normal good ang ato ang income. So they have a positive relationship. So again, increase in income will lead to an increase in the quantity demand for good X. So this is how we will be interpreting this one. So I hope you had take note of that one and clear lang siya sa inyo ha. So let's continue. So we are going to talk about obtaining elasticities, okay, from demand function. So formula, same lang gyapon sa akong ginahimo. So as you can see, quantity demanded of X, kato akong gipang example. So we are already done with all the three. So example, quantity demanded, okay, in a minute. Quantity demanded of a given good. So example, beer, wine, milk, or example, good X is equals to the uh, beta 0 plus beta X and so on and so forth. Oh, so this is an alpha, sorry, rather, alpha. So alpha 0 plus, okay, alpha X. So this one is beta, this one is alpha. Okay. So same lang gyapon sa akong hatag nga example, we have example 500 plus, okay, negative days. Negative 10 price of beer, so its own price, plus the um, price of Y. So example 2 price of wine plus 1 times the income plus the example we have advertisement 4 for the advertisement. So this is example mo ni akong gipahatag sa inyo um, nga problem. So solve this problem. So look for the own price elasticity, the cross price and income elasticity of the quantity demanded for good X. So this would be my given. So ipasolve din ta mo sa again own price. Okay. Own price elasticity of demand. Next is the cross price elasticity of demand. And lastly would be the income elasticity of demand. So these three. So kanina din siya ang given. So I'll probably be giving you price for B is equals to 50. Price for the wine is equals to 10. The income would be 10,000. And the advertising would be at least 3,000. So that is an example. Maghatag ako given. You just need to solve this one na dayon. So this is the formula. So we have again x multiplied by the price of x over the quantity of x, y multiplied by the, this is the derivative, okay? Katong plus 2 plus 4 negative 10 and etc. And m2. So this is the formula na dayon. So I want you to solve this one. But first, ato siyang isolve. So maghatag na ko different na activity for you to solve this. So same lang yapon. So we have this problem daw. So the daily demand for invigorated ped shoes is estimated to be, okay, we have this problem. We have quantity demanded for ped shoes down. Quantity demanded for shoes. So let's have that example. 100 minus 3 to the price of the shoes. Or let's use X na lang. Okay, X. So 100 minus 3 price of the shoes, which is X, plus 4 in the price of example another um, price of related nga goods. So we have example Y here, less negative 0.01 our income. So a negative daw, so may decrease plus lastly the 2 advertisement to AX. So we have this givens. We have the AX is the advertisement, which is, okay, let's have the givens later. So mo ni ang atong problem. So we will be solving this one. So actually medyo taas ang tanin siya. Sumpay rin siya. Let's assume nga sumpay ni tanan. Dira maigo sa akong kuan. And I need to write it nga mas dako para makita ninyo. So, suppose that good X daw. Okay, let's have the givens here. So, good X is equals to $25 per pair. And good Y is equals to $35 per pair. So, the company utilizes 50 units for advertising. So, 50 for advertising, average consumer income would be at least 20,000. So let's assume that one. I want you to calculate the own price elasticity. Okay. So you need to, we need to look for, again, own price. Okay. Elasticity of demand. 2 is the cross price elasticity of demand. And 3, the income elasticity of demand. So we will be solving it based on the given na formula. So let's go to number 1 first. Let's answer the Let's enter and solve for the own, okay, own price. The own price elasticity of demand. So we have this formula, elasticity of own, okay, own price elasticity of demand. So we have, again, percent change in quantity of X over percent change in quantity of, I know, percent change in price of X. So we have this formula. So let's use and look for the, again, own price pata, so negative 3px. So given nga negative man yung sign here, and negative man yung sign, that means they have a negative relationship. So what would that mean? So first, good na tong assumption, daan negative yung relationships, yung price. So that means, again, and every increase in price gives a low decrease in a low or a decrease in the quantity supplied of that given good. So let's continue. Again, we will be using this given or variable. We have negative 3px. So with that, let's solve it. Let's use green. Equals to negative 3 multiplied by how much would be the price based on the given? So the price is 25. So let's use the own price elasticity or own price of 25. So let's continue. So we have negative 3 multiplied by 25. So that would be the price over the quantity demanded. So how much would be the quantity? So we will be looking for the quantity first. Okay, so as we all know, quantity of x is, we don't know um what is the quantity of x. So how will we get the quantity demanded of x? First, we need to solve this one first. Okay, gihatag naman itong mga given. So let's solve for the quantity demanded of x first. So we have it here. So we will have more din siyang formula. First, we need to look for the quantity demanded of x. So how much would it be? So we have 100. Okay, let's color it blue. So we have one. I hope it's clear sa inyo. 100 minus 3. So px would be 25 plus 4 times py is 35. Okay, plus 0.1, 0.01 multiplied by 20,000 plus 2 times 50 for advertising. So how much would this be? So let's solve for the quantity demanded of x. So we have, okay, let's multiply first. Negative 3 times 25, we have negative 75 here, plus We have 35 times 4, 140. Okay, less, um, it's 0.01 negative multiplied by 20,000. We have a negative 200. Oh no, nigamay. Plus 100, 2 times 50. So this would be the equation. So let's solve for this one. How much would be the quantity demanded? So we will have 100 minus 75 plus 140 plus 200 um, plus 100. We have a 65. Oh no! Hala, gakawala gid ko ay gakamute. I hope you had get that one. So again, we will be looking for the quantity demanded of X. Oh no! Quantity demanded of X. So we have again, we will be using katong formula. So this one here. So 100, I know, 100 um, minus 3 times 25, in which 25 would be the, again, good X, plus 4 multiplied 35. So 35 is a good Y. And negative 0.01 multiplied by 20,000, which is the income. And again, plus 2. So 2 advertisement of 50 units. So that would be um, the, the values. So we will be solving it based on the MDAS. This one first, negative 3 times 25, negative 75. 4 times 35, 140. This negative 1.0 multiplied by 20,000, we have negative 20, and negative 200. And lastly, 2 times 50, we will have a positive 100, which give us a total of quantity demanded of 65. So this would be the answer. Okay. Muna itong ginapangita. So, kompleto ng ato ang givens. Okay, let's go back. So, di ba gipangita atong quantity demanded? So the answer for this one is 65. Oh no. So the answer for this one is 65, quantity demanded. So let's continue to solve our own price elasticity of demand. So to ang given man is QX would be a 65. Okay, in a minute. Okay, nakita naman na to siya. We have a 25 here based on the given. So, given na siya, price of X. Okay. Before that, ako siya ibutang na pod here ha, basta maglibog mo. So, we have, again, based on the formula. Okay, narang ang formula ha. So, we have PX here, PX over QX. So, di siya percent change. Kaya ito siyang gibali. So, multiplied. So, let's continue. So, ako lang siyang i-change para dito magsigig. Ay, ilis-ilis. I know. So we will have a negative 3 multiplied by 25 over 65. So as per what we had solved earlier, so we will have the answer, elasticity, income elasticity of, again, 25 divide 65 will have 0.384, okay, multiplied by a negative 3. We will have a income elasticity of 1.5 of 4. Okay, 1.154. So this would be the answer. So as you can see, it is greater than 1 and it is a positive. So income, and it is a positive. So that means it is a normal good. Okay. So in a minute. Okay, sorry. So this is the own price elasticity of demand rather. So own price elasticity of demand, it shows a greater than one. Okay, greater than one, that means this is an elastic demand. Okay. So the answer for again own price elasticity is it is greater than one, or um greater than one and a positive. So that means it is an elastic demand. So uh, a relatively small change in the price would lead to a relatively large change in the quantity demanded for good X. So that is how you will be interpreting it. So that's for the income elasticity. So how about the second one? We have the cross price elasticity. Okay. Cross Okay, cross price elasticity of demand. So we will be using again the formula cross price elasticity. Okay, QX of PY. So we have percent change in quantity of X over percent change. Okay, percent change in price of Y. So let's solve this one. Kay gihatag naman po ang given. So we have a it is over here. Okay, I hope you can see it clearly in a minute. So as you can see, we have, oh, okay, it's not this one. As you can see, we have a positive 4 for Y here. for for PY here. So positive ilang relationship. So probably that is a price elasticity. This is a substitute na good. So let's confirm this one. So we'll have a 4 here multiplied by, again, we will have a price of y over quantity of x over here. So this would be the formula. 4 multiplied by the price of y, which is a 35 over the quantity of x, which is 65, as what we had solved earlier. So we have a 35 divide a 65. We'll have a 4 times 0.5 and 3 3 8. Okay, 3 8 3 8. So that would be the formula. Okay, that would be the answer. We will have a multiplied by 4. Let's have 2.154. So that is the um cost price elasticity. Okay, as you can see, it has a positive. So positive siya ang iyahang na result. Positive siya, then it is greater than 1. So that means this is a substitute good. So positive iyang relationship. So this is correct. Again, increase in the price of Y leads to an increase in the quantity demand for good X. So that is for the cross price elasticity. And lastly, we will be solving about the income elasticity of demand. So we have this formula. So same lang gyapon, income elasticity of demand. We will have again percent change in quantity of X and percent change in the income. So based on the formula, we have a negative 0.01 sa income. So from the word itself, negative, so there is probably it is an inferior good. Inferior good daw ang ped shoes. So let's let's use the givens 0.01. Okay, in a minute. So we have 0.01 here multiplied by again um, income over the quantity of x. So we have 0.01 multiplied by income of 20,000 over the quantity, which is 65. So let's solve for this one. We have 20,000. Okay. divide 60 5. We have is negative 0.01 multiplied by 307.692 multiplied by 0.01 negative. We have a negative 3.077. So that would be the answer. So as you can see, the income elasticity of demand is a negative. Okay, negative man siya. So based on our interpretation of a negative na income elasticity of demand, that means this is an inferior good. Okay, inferior good in which an increase in the income will lead to a decrease in the quantity demand for good X. So that is how we will be interpreting this problem. So we had already solved again those three: the income elasticity of demand, the cost price elasticity of demand, and lastly, the own price elasticity of demand. Given this only, kanila gyud siya nga formula. So, um, prepare for a post quiz given same example lang yapon. Ipa-calculate lang tamo sa own price elasticity, crash price, and income elasticity of demand. So that is all for today. I hope you had learned many things. So if you have any questions or clarifications, please feel free to message me anytime. So I hope that is clear to all of you. And if you have any questions, again, please message me, okay? So thank you for today, everyone. So have a good day, and I hope you are studying well. So goodbye.